Hi, I'm Jennifer, here in the American Patchwork and Quilting Sewing Lab, and I'm with Angela Walters, Handi Quilter's ambassador for machine quilting. We're talking about a basic swirl design and a hook variation, and it's a great place for beginning machine quilters to start.
It is. When I first started learning how to free motion quilt, the swirl was one of the first designs that I practiced and really mastered. What makes it great is it's so versatile. You can change up the scale, the size, or even the density with it. And you can actually add your own variations to tweak it a little bit as well. So here we have an example of just a basic swirl design. It's fluid, it moves nicely across the quilt, and it's really easy to do as well.
It's a little more exciting than your basic stipple that some of us have learned.
Yes. And then here I have the same design. It's the swirl. The only difference is I'm adding a little hook on there just to give it a little bit of a different look. So if you have a quilt that you want just a little bit of a different quilting design on it, and this would be a good one for you too.
Kick it up a notch.
Exactly. So should I show you how to do those?
I would love to see it.
Great. So what you're going to do for the swirl is you're going to start by swirling into the center. Now what I've done is I've went into the center, leaving myself room to come back out.
And that's the important part. Always leave yourself room to come out of the design that you create. And I know, Angela, one of the things you always say is about 80% of machine quilting is knowing where you want to go.
Very true. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my way out and I'm going to finish the swirl. And what that means is I'm going to come all the way back down, about to where I almost started. When quilters get stuck quilting swirls, what they get stuck on is they're not finishing that swirl before they move on to the next. So you want to swirl in, finish the swirl before you move on to the next one. So here is the basic shape that you're working with. At this point, you can continue quilting that same swirl design, alternating directions, and really just filling in that space as you go. And I'll just add one more. And then back out. Remember, we want to finish it.
And I think in finishing the swirl, the other important thing to remember is that you're in charge of the foot pedal. So if you get to machine quilting and you find yourself stuck or wondering, where am I going to go next? Don't forget, you can let your foot off the pedal, stop the machine, think about where you want to go, and start again.
Exactly. Now if you want to try the one with the hook, it's the same basic shape. You just swirl in. The only difference is when you're in the inside, you're going to come out and add that little bit of a hook like that. Think of it more like an S shape, a gentle kind of curve, and then you're going to come back and then finish your swirl. So let me show you one more. You're going to swirl in, you're going to put that little hook out, come back, and finish the swirl, just like that.
I love this design. It's a great overall motif and one that you can practice working with. Now, Angela, one thing we haven't talked about is you could possibly use a stitch regulator on a machine like this if you wanted to make sure that your stitches were even, but sometimes you suggest for curves a different idea.
Absolutely. In my opinion, I think a stitch regulator tends to add a little bit of a drag to the quilting, so if you're having trouble getting those nice soft curves, then maybe try turning off the stitch regulator will help you with that.
Whether you like to work with the stitch regulator on or off, these two designs are ones that can be a regular part of your machine quilting design arsenal. Give them a try today.